Games. It's Paralympic for our friends that lives with disabilities. So I see that this is a good opportunity for us not only to show our nationalism but also to show that our humanity and in terms of seeing people in equal opportunity. I saw also a couple of people that I knew also in Asian Para Games. I know Phi and previous event that we have. So probably you can relate to whatever that I'm going to talk about right now. The challenges, like I said, in terms of organizing this event was the way we need to organize and the way we need to handle the challenges, because all the committee was mounted 12,000 people. There was 12,000 people in the committee, and it's a challenge to coordinate with all of them, especially when you're young. So this leadership might works if you're like one of the youngest member in your team and you need to take up a role in leadership, but you need to lead someone twice your age or even 5-10 years older than you. So this might be a good learning experience that I can share. Although, like I said, it's not always perfect. So case in point is when you're trying to coordinate with all these older generations, but while at the same time you also try to mentor the young ones. If you see in these pictures, this is 3 pictures that I can see depict what happened back then in Asian Para Games. On the right upside, this one, this is our chief, 𝗙𝘂𝗹𝗁𝗁𝗂𝗃𝗲𝗿𝘆𝘁. Now he's the head of National Olympic Committee of Indonesia. I'm really thankful to him because he's the one that giving me chances. Back then, I was being doubted because I'm still young. They think that I should be at least just at most vice director only, not director, but he believes that I can be a director. So but then I need to also take up the challenges. So the first key thing if you want to be a leader is that you need to ready if someone challenges you to do it. But of course, you cannot be recklessly charging into the wall. You cannot just recklessly like ramming into the wall and thinking that you're ready or not. You need to be able to evaluate yourself and believe that you can do it, and then you need to learn how to do it. Richard Branson once said that if someone offers you opportunity, take the opportunity and learn how to do it. That's what Richard Branson said. But for me, it's a little bit of modification of that. If someone asks you for a challenge, ask for several amount of time, 1 day, 1 hour, anything. Just really think about it and then take up the challenge. That's what I'm thinking. I'm dealing with a lot of older generations with their conventional mindset, and on the pictures on the right hand side really shows what happens back then. So we have this athlete village where people live, where the athletes live, but there's this one gate that always being open. My responsibility back then in Asian Para Games was ensuring that the security and the people that needs to come and go can come and go, while people that shouldn't be there should not be there. I'm in an accreditation division. My problem back then was this gate is always open. No, people can go in, people can go out. Whenever my team wants to go there, the security team always say, "Pa, are you really sure that you want to close this? People will get angry, people will get mad, blah 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 blah." It's just a matter that this gate is closer to the entrance, so people usually use this as a shortcut. So this is me under the pressure of everyone, like trying to lock the gate so that anyone that shouldn't be inside would not get inside. Why I put this picture here, it's one of the moment in the event where I think that, okay, I'm either gonna get killed or I'm gonna get punched, or am I gonna get fired or anything? I don't know. That's a moment of uncertainty. And just like what I'm going to tell you after this, that being a leader, sometimes you face an uncertainty. You face a challenge that sometimes you need to take care of it by yourself, and you need to be responsible with it. You have power to make decisions, but your decision you need to be responsible to your decisions. But yeah, just like any other event, there's always an ending to it. And I think the ending in the Asian Para Games was always the ending that I cherish so much. It's people get the comfortability. People believe that the event will succeed. And me personally, I'm happy because the young blood in Asian Para Games was being recognized. I can show you one of the videos that makes me really proud to be part of Asian Para Games. I don't know if you can hear it or not. You can see my face is very
Yeah, we can see it.
You can see my face was very awkward because I don't expect to be recognized in front of public audiences. But this is a video that I always believe that young people can have opportunity, and if they want to fight for their role.
Wow, yeah, that's but I can tell that you're not you're more a person that goes behind the curtain rather than under the spotlight, Aryo.
Yes, because I'm an introvert, I don't want to be in front of spotlight if I don't have to. But yeah, that's how I start to that's how I choose my place to be. But yeah, let's move forward. Yeah, but you know, one fun fact about me, that I'm an introvert. I'm not an extrovert. So it's good in Zoom. I don't really have to be in front of a lot of people, although I can if I need to. So in terms of leadership, we see a lot of traditional leadership style: autocratic, bureaucratic, democratic. Even democratic is actually a traditional leadership style. Laissez-faire, the one that where you allow people to make decisions for themselves, is also a traditional leadership. We have a lot of modern leadership style. This is something that you might want to choose. You can be a charismatic leadership. Obviously not me. I don't have charisma. They are transactional leadership. It's more of like, okay, what you can give, what I can give back to you. This is an equal amount of transaction between leaders and the team. Or you can be a transformational leadership. I will explain later on. You can be a visionary leadership. You don't really direct them, but you lead them to see the vision that you want to. Or a servant leadership, where you go along with your team member and you work with them. It's as if like there is no barrier between leaders and team. I choose transformational leadership because my background was training. My background was also HR. So it's easy for me to lead people by telling them, hey, this is the better version of you. And by doing this work, you can basically move yourself into a better version of yourself. So that's how I think. And the way I see the challenge back then, the challenge in Asian Para Games, and also the challenge in a lot of things that happens in my life, is also about how the leaders can implement their vision, how the leaders can put the people together and move forward to their intended vision. So the way I see it, a good leader will have these 5 challenges. First, he or she will always have a challenge to how to model the way, how to create a pathway that's clear enough. People can see, oh, we are IT company. We need to give this. We need to do this. We need to do this. And how they try to inspire a shared vision. How everything that inside his or her head must be down to earth. There need to be a down to earth explanation to it. How he or she always needs to be able to challenge the process. How the leader able to create, able to make others be able to perform or even lead to some certain level, because I'm not going to be a leader forever. And lastly, how we can encourage people to be better. How to encourage people when they face challenges. How we encourage people to be when they are in their lowest level in their life. Now, the way I see it, transformational leadership actually answers this. Why? Because transformational leadership, first of all, we learn how to understand the status quo better. Oh, especially, of course, before you make any decisions, you need to understand the situations, right? This is number one if you want to be a good transformational leader. First, you need to really understand what happens right now. You need to strengthen your information gathering skill. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to clarify. That's why 𝗙𝗙 presentation really hits me in the spot, because you never assume. You need to have a good communications, and then after you gather the information, you formulate the strategy. After you formulate the strategy, you get it inside your head, and then you create a clear communication strategy that will explain it to everyone else. And also, transformational leadership, that's one. But the second in the transformational leadership is that you need to also have some sort of transactional leadership. Why? Because you have 10 people, whether you have a 10 people team or you have 100 people or even 1,000 people, those people are very unique, because I'm sure that even me and you we are also maybe different, right? What motivates us different, what motivates us to move forward is different, what demotivates us is different. And it's important for a leader to understand what motivates their team and try as much as possible to provide that, as long as it is according to the team's goal. If it's not according to the team's goal, then you don't give it to them. But as long as it is, then you give it to them. But what if it's not according to team's goal? Then you can ask them, hey, whenever you are in my team, please don't do that. But if you're outside of the team, if you want to, go play games, or you want to go out on the weekend, you want to go drinking, you want to go anything, you want to go partying, that's fine. But as long as you're in my team, don't do that. That's also some sort of a supporting element that you can give to your team. And then third is you also need to have this. Sorry, I need to move this. Yeah, you also need to have what we call as a transparent leadership. Transparent leadership is when a leader does not sugarcoat. Some of the leader can be very sugarcoating. They can say, hey, you're very good, although he or she doesn't think that you're actually doing a very good job. Also, in terms of information, I know some of the information should be confidential, should be secret, but there will be some certain level of how you can say it to the team, because that makes the team have a sense of belonging. That makes team believe that they are part of a bigger team, that you trust them, that you want them to be in there, that you want their opinion, you want their feedback. That's how I see transparency is important in leadership. And last but not least, I think a transformational leader needs to always have a transcendent leadership. Transcendent means that you are ready to step down. You can identify who's going to continue you, who's going to continue your legacy, who's going to be there when you're not, when you're dead around. And I think that this is also one of the important things to be a leader. So yeah, I think that's already a lot that I'm saying. I just need 2 more minutes just to explain a little bit about why transformational leaders is really important nowadays, because I think we need to know that we are living in a COVID situations, right? COVID creates uncertainty. People are very vulnerable during COVID situations. Acting boldly and recklessly is not easy. Every step that we take, as if like we are in a very dense fog. So more than ever, people need to be able to transform every day, adapting to the situation. And this is why transformational leadership, I think, is very important. Because whatever tactics, whatever strategies that you think you're going to do in January 2020, chances are they're not as effective right now. Chances are you need to adapt to it. Okay, so get that inside our head. So probably we can discuss it further. Thank you so much, Em, for moderating, and everyone else. I would love to hear from another perspective as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aryo. Okay, there's something very intrigues me. I mean, like you mentioned about being a young leader, and then you have to lead like people twice as your age, or maybe like even older. I mean, I bet that you, I mean, like they give doubts a lot to you. I mean, like I think that happens a lot with other other leaders like you and Christian and the others later on. How do you handle that? I mean, like when people doubt you just because of your age, even though you have like a very strong resume, but since you are very young, and then they doubt you, and then how would you deal with that? Because a lot of
it depends. It depends. Do you need them or not? I always be straightforward. I always think, okay, do you need them or not? If you don't need them, then you don't need to prove anything to them. I always believe that you cannot prove anything to someone that does not want to be enlightened. That's what I believe. You can try, but you might have other more important things to do rather than just try to convince 1 or 2 people that you are able. But of course, during my time, most importantly, sometimes I also need to coordinate with them. So I need to install trust with them. So what I do back then is 3 things. First, I try to talk with them. I try to understand their perspective, because that's very important. Although they would not show to you that, hey, I don't trust you, you're young. No, but he or she will use a condescending tone, or like calling you not like with your title, but like de or little brother, that kind of thing. That kind of show which sometimes is important when you communicate with them. You give a sense to them, and you try to explain to them that, hey, I know this, I can do this. But that's one. But second, and this is the most important thing, sometimes it's just time. You just need time. People might doubt you in the first place, but good thing about an event that the important thing always comes later on. So whenever you're doing the planning, just the gathering the teams, that's your entrance. That's your stage. That's your first impression. You need to excel in that, and then later on they will trust you. And then third of all, if they still doubt you, because of course we have problems, and sometimes those problems they say, oh, it's not because the deficient, it's because the leader is very young. That's usually what come up. And if that's happened, what you need to do is you need to have, like what 𝗙𝗶𝗿 said, a good evaluations. And people will say, okay lah, let's forget about the mistake and let's move on. No, that's not me. If there is a mistake, let's go into the root of the mistake and know who's at fault, whose problem it is, who's who creates this problem. But not to blame, but it's more to learn so that it's not happening again in the future. I know if 𝗙𝗵𝗿 is still here, I know 𝗙𝗵𝗿 will understand that a lot of people that we work together, 𝗙𝗵𝗿, 𝗘𝘃𝗿𝗍, Brian back then, we talk a lot about how evaluation is very important. And that I carry until right now, that I also believe that evaluation is very important. You need to know if there's a problem, who caused the problem, and what we need to do in the future, so we do not repeat the same mistake.
Yeah, by the way, 𝗙𝗵𝗿 just text. He said like, yes, Aryo, he said. So yeah, I mean, like, he's agreeing with us. So yeah, thank you so much for thank you so much for Aryo then for your time. So guys, we're going to have a very fun session, my favorite session, rather than I mean, like, I love listening to the speakers, to the fabulous speakers, but I also love to take pictures. So yeah, now I want you to open your camera. So we're going to have like the first picture with our fabulous conductors. Can you please open your camera first, and then we're going to take picture first, the first picture, yeah. And later on, we're going to take another picture at the very end of the session. Okay, everyone.
Shall I hold my rifle?
Ooh, that can be, please.
No.
I'm just going to hold my pen. Okay, who's going to take the picture? Farhan, are you going to take the picture? Farhan. Farhan, I cannot hear you. You still mute yourself. Farhan.
Yeah, hello, Miss M.
Yes, take the picture, please.
Yeah.
Okay, count 1, 2, 3. Come on, Farhan. Done?
Okay. Wait.
Farhan, we are not models. Come on, Farhan.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Oh, done. Oh my goodness.
Done.
Okay, thank you so much, guys.
What?
No, it's okay, baby. Thank you so much, Farhan. Okay. Thank you so much for our two fabulous conductors, for 𝗙𝗵𝗿 and also for Aryo. I believe that everyone has questions now, and then you started to have your own thoughts about the materials and everything. I'm just going to remind you again, just like what is given through email to you, that we are not going to share the materials, but you are open to take a screenshot of it, or even better, to take notes, just like in school. Okay, you just take notes if you have like anything that you want to take. I mean, like, just take notes, or just the easiest is to grab a screenshot. Okay, and then this is very very interesting. Now we're going to have another two fabulous conductors. So now we are going to have Nurma. Nurma, are you
Hi,
there?
hi, just now I talked with Ammar. I think he'll go first. Is that okay?
Oh, Ammar, go first. Okay, yes, okay. Sorry.
No,
Okay,
no,
hi,
no.
Ammar.
I didn't tell you before.
Hi, Ammar.
Hello, Em.
Hi,
How
how
are
are
you, Em?
you? I'm good.
I'm awesome today.
So we are all awesome. Okay, so Ammar, welcome to Britzone, and then thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much that you want to share your knowledge with us. And since you are the youngest among all the speakers today, I mean, I bet like every one of us here are really waiting for what you are going to say. So
Okay,
yeah, can you please? Yeah.
okay. Let me share first my share screen, right?
Okay.
Okay, shall I start, Em?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, mate. Please introduce myself. My name is Ammar Ibrahim, yeah, and I am a co-founder of Solu. Solu is an IT company based in Jakarta, located in Cawang. Yeah, we have a base camp in Cawang, near from Cawang station. And I'm very excited here to talk here and meet a lot of good speaker, an awesome speaker like Nurma and then Aryo and then 𝗙𝗃𝗿. I really agree with their explanation. Okay, and then in my presentation, I will talk about my history of my company, and then I will talk a little bit about my experience while I'm running a business in Solu philanthropy technology. First of all is starting from this bike. Yeah. Imagine yourself that you were alone, far away from your home. Yeah. I mean, far away is like 150 kilometers away from home. Yeah. I was having a touring with my friend, and then you have no money in your pocket. And then the worst thing ever is your bike was broken.
Oh
What would
no.
you do if you are in this situation, right? It was me 4 or 5 years ago when I was riding this bike, having a touring with my friend. And then, yeah, I'm hopeless. I don't know what to do. All I can see is just a rice field and an empty road. And then suddenly, I heard a unique sounds of motorbike. Tang, 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 come for me. And a group of people come for me. And then they ask me, hey, what happened to you? Hey, what happened to you, bro? No, don't be crying. I was crying at the moment, right?
Oh.
A man can be crying because I don't know what to do in the middle of the road, an empty road, something like that. And then, yeah, they asking me, and then I tell about my problem. My bike was broken, and I have no money in pocket. I mean, no money is like I have a money actually, but just for filling my fuel until I get home. I don't have any money to get food or something like that. So yeah, and then I tell them, and then they give everything they have. They give everything they can do to fix my bike, so I can get home safely. They give money, they give equipment, they give tools related to my bike. So then yeah, I can get home safely. Yeah, the things I want to stress in this experience is from this bike, I get most valuable things in my life. It is philanthropic. I know how solidarity works from this situation. Yeah, and then philanthropy means a selfless act of helping others. We don't need any. We don't want to get any paid from our help like that. So if in Indonesia it's like tanpa pamrih, right? And then this philanthropy is really mean to my life. And then since I was in vocational school, I have a dream to running a business with a philanthropic values. And then when I was in 2015, I met an operational director when I was in internship program in my previous company. And then turns out that we have the same vision of making a company with actualized philanthropy that comes to my company right now, Solu Philanthropy Technology. So we have a big vision of my company that we want to running a business, we want to be a leader in the business which actualize philanthropy. And we have three main core businesses. The first one is, since we are an IT company and we just have a background from IT. Yeah, when I was in vocational school, I learned IT, I learned computer, I learned how to do programming, something like that. So we give everything we can do for our client. We make a software, we make a solution for them, software house. So the first main business, software house. And then the second one, we are giving an offer to give services to them after they buy our software, and then we give them services, a knowledge. We give them a knowledge, yeah, something like that. And then the third is we make a devices to support their software, to support their businesses, to give a solution in the device. For example, we make a tools for monitoring electricity in home, monitoring electricity in CCTV. Yeah, that's just one example. And then this, some of our clients, and we were established in 2017, and it's been 2 years and a half, 2.5 years, and then we already have this client, Komunikasik, Kemhan, Korlantas, Kemenparekraf, PTSP Bekasi, BMKG, and so on. And I couldn't fit all of my client here because it's not fit here. Okay. And then the thing I should be proud of from my team is they are still young like me. I'm proud of them. I'm really proud of them. And most of them are under 25. Under 25. And then we hired them from vocational school. So basically, they don't have any bachelor degree right there, like that. So we hired them from a vocational school. We grooming them. We teach them. We teach them. We grooming them until like that. Like now today in 2020 we got a national project for CCTV. It's kind of big project for us. Maybe the biggest one since we were established in 2017. Yeah. So in terms of speaking of leadership and how manage our team members in a diverse team, I would like to give a simple explanation of this. Based on my experience, is we have to divide between listening and respond. Yeah. Why we have to differentiate between listening and respond? Because when we are talking to someone, we have to listen to them and give our empathy, give our emotion, feel their emotion. So it is the most important things, better than give a response. The first one is we have to listen to them, and then the second one we have to give a response, whether this one is negative or positive. So, for example, I take an example of my team. At the time, it was 6:30 p.m. 6:30 p.m. is quite night, right? For people who work, it should be overtime, but we don't give overtime for me, right? Because I'm a co-founder here, so I don't want to take a lot of money from this company. So yeah, the thing is, suddenly they come to my room and then they sharing a thought. They're sharing a thought, and then they give a complaint to me. So what I do is I'm just responding with my smile, and then hearing, give an empathy, like that. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, you are great. Yeah, that idea is really great, awesome. And then after you listen to them, you have to decide whether this idea, this complaint is related to you or capable in your company or not. If this capable, so you just say, yeah, you're doing great. This is a good idea, and we will talk about it to our management later on, something like that. And then if we don't have to give any response, it just don't give any response. For example, like a complaint. Usually a complaint is about our management, right? So it's kind of hurt in my heart, right? But yeah, it's good to improve ourselves. So we just take, yeah, you're doing great. Probably this is one of our fault. Yeah, thank you for your suggestion. We'll improve our company, something like that. So in a social relation, we want to be acknowledged by others, right? So the same thing happens in a company. Team members want to be acknowledged by the management, by the founder, by the co-founder, by the leader in that company. So yeah, so that's the short explanation of listening and respond. And then I do really agree with 𝗙𝗲𝗍's presentation that the most important things in leadership is communication, because we have to, as a leader, we have to transmit our emotion, transmit our idea, transmit our strategy to our team, so that they want to do, well, what they have to do, what we want to do, what they have to do for the better of our company. Then the last one is being humble. Yeah, maybe if I take a presentation of Aryo, yeah, I take the example of Aryo. There is a type of leadership as a 7 leadership skill, like that. So maybe I'm the kind of people who want to be a 7 leadership like that. So we have to be humble. We have to be grounded to our team. We have to go out with team to having fun when it comes to lunch, something like that. And then I have an insight for these humble things from my experience when I was in my previous company, when I was in internship program. So at the time, we were exploring something to install a database to an ERP system, an IT things right there. And then we have to stay for about 2 days. And then at the time, my mentor was my operational director, and then me was just an internship people, an internship employee. And when it comes to the next day, at 6 a.m., yeah, in the morning, after we staying up late, we don't sleep at the night, and then in the morning we will got sleepy, right? And then we are very lazy to go out to have a breakfast or something we eat. But suddenly my commissioner, not my operational director at that moment was vanished from the room, and then we thought like maybe he will go, he going to sleep. He was going to sleep or something, or probably laziness things. But surprisingly, after 30 minutes later, he went back to our room and bring us an internship employee a porridge, a porridge. An operational director buying a porridge, going outside to buying a porridge to the internship employee. That's really mean to my my life, and this is the most this I can get. This is really great, and then I want to be like him. And another example is 2 days ago I read a book titled Change, which written by Halal Tourism, PhD. And then in that book, he mentioned about Musfiah electronic. If you know Musfiah electronic is right now is called Panasonic, maybe. Yeah, Panasonic is known like it's a big company. It's a Japanese big company. In 1930, if I'm not mistaken, they almost bankrupt. The company was bankrupt, and then the founder of 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 grounded with all of the branch manager to see what happened in the market. So he grounded and then felt the company, felt the client's feeling, the client's emotion of their product, and then they realized they have something wrong from their marketing. Because of that, we have now Panasonic like we all know at this moment. Yeah. So another example is when we are manage our team, when we want to comment something to our team, we have to have a good communication and asking if there is anything we can help. Basically, usually we want to him or her doing something, but the communication skill is playing here. We want to they doing something, but we position as like we want to help them, something like that. So we have to be like that in a leadership. It is based on my experience. And then thank you. This is my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ammar. Thank you so much, Ammar. What I really want to ask about you is about the fact that you were graduated from a vocational school, right? Yeah, because it's a sad reality that nowadays people still see graduates from a vocational school as second grade. Right?
Second grade.
Yeah, I mean, like they always have that kind of things in their head about vocational school graduates. But how do you feel about that, and then how do you overcome about that?
How do I overcome like that stereotype?
Yeah, being doubt, saying that you're from a vocational school, you're not from sekolah umum, anak kejuruan. Yeah, you know how anak kejuruan is usually going to be like the second citizenship.
Yeah.
That's a sad story, but it's true. And but I have seen like a lot of people right now. They came from vocational schools, and they are all good leaders, just like you are right now. So how do you overcome about that?
How do I overcome? I just don't think about it and prove. Don't think about it. Just let it go, and then just prove yourself that you can do it. When I was in an internship program in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know anything. I don't know how to do something. I don't know how to lead a meeting, something like that. And I have to face twice all the people, and I have to lead them in the meetings. And then, at the first time, of course, if they know my age, if they know my graduation, my vocational school, maybe they don't acknowledge me. They don't acknowledge me as a leader in the meeting. But I don't think about it. Just let it go, and then just the show must go on. I have to prove myself that I can do it, something like that. So don't think much about it.
So that's perfect, Ammar. I mean, do you have any things to say from all students from vocational school out there?
Just for vocational school, probably it's not for vocational school, but for every young people in Indonesia. That we have to what do you call it in English? We have to be creative and open-minded to every lesson, to everything in the world. So then we can learn much from them. For example, like right now, I'm learning something. I'm learning a lot from Aryo and then 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗃. Then after this, I learned something from Nurma. I learned something from all of you guys here, right? Like that. So we have to be open-minded and be creative and showing off our capability, and yeah, be confident of yourself.
Agree on that one. Thank you so much, Ammar.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. And yeah, believe me, age is just a number, right? Age is just a number. Even I can learn from you. Everyone can learn from you, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
do agree with that.
Yes. Oh yeah. Look, Aryo just dropped a message on the chat, and I do agree also with Aryo. He said, wait, what did you say? Aryo said, I'm going to read it to you. Some of our best programmer in my company is from vocational school. Sometimes I prefer to work with them rather than university graduates. They are humble and more importantly, eager to learn. Yeah, good. Yeah, right. I mean, like I do agree with that too. Yeah, I have met a lot of graduates from vocational schools, and then it seems that what do we call it? Yep, they are siap kerja. So it's different from us, the other what is it? Normal school. We don't get the skills. We don't get much skills. But from vocational, they are equipped with a lot of good skills. Okay, thank you so much, Ammar. And then now we're going to have the last one is from Nurma. Nurma.
Yeah,
Hi, Nurma. How are you?
Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, Britzoners. I really hope I can hear their voices. You know, it feels sad to talk one way. We're going to have a time with them, right? After this.
Of course. After this, we're going to have the time with the others. Of course.
Sure. All right, then. If you can bear just one more speaker, and then after that, let's chat. At first, I was thinking I don't want to have a slide because I'm not good at making slides. Even now, I just made it exactly a few seconds before Ammar finished talking. But looking at the others, they have slides. Okay, fine. I'm going to make one for you all. Anyway, let's see. You can see my screen, eh?
Yeah.
Cool. This one. Okay. Right. Hi, everyone. My name is Nurma. I'm here. Well, perhaps you can say I'm the co-founder of Halal Local. It's a startup that helps Muslim travelers finding halal restaurants anywhere in the world. So I'm going to talk a bit about that. But actually, to be honest, I'm not quite intensely working in Halal Local anymore. They already have like a different management. I passed the responsibility to them. Now I'm actually more focused on doing dev lead, means like I'm the lead developer of an IT-based startup, and also a bit of project management consultation kind of work for software development. So that's me and my contact. Feel free to contact me, okay? So just a bit about myself. I was quite fortunate to be able to go study overseas twice, or maybe you can say thrice, 3 times. When I just graduated from high school, I got an offer to study in Malaysia for free, alhamdulillah. And then at the time, actually, I didn't really know what I wanted to study. But I know since I was a kid, I'm very fixated with computer. So anything that has something to do with computer. And that's why they call it IT. So I just said, okay, anything IT. Then even I'm picking my university is just by the name. There is this multimedia university as an IT. Then I'll just take that one. It's so simple. Then I went to Malaysia. I used to work in a software house over there 2 times. No, 1 time. It's in a company called as Juris. It's a software house that creates softwares for banks, and I was so having so much time and fun over there. It influenced me a lot to the point that I wanted to make a company like that, and I want to learn more about finance because I think I have enough context about IT, even though it's always evolving. I want to know more about finance, and that's what makes me take my second degree, which is in a university in England. I was quite fortunate again to do my another degree for free by 𝗙𝗃𝗵𝗶 scholarship. And I choose my major was software engineering for financial services. Don't be too scared about the IT part. Just think of it like you just do something with your computer and create. And then when I went there, I worked for 8 months in another software house in Leicester. Maybe if anyone here follows football, maybe you have heard that city. It's not quite a big city. Maybe you often read it as Leicester, but actually it's read as Leicester. I worked there for 8 months, and that was the first time I guess I work in really an international settings. Even though Malaysia is very international as well, but it just brings me to another level, how to work with people that exactly I don't have any context of their culture, and also about their communications and the style of their, how do they work in a team. And then I went back from university. I directly went back to Indonesia, and I created this company with my friend. The company is called 𝗙𝘃𝗃𝗵𝗶𝗽. I was in charge of the technical lead, so I was the CTO and co-founder, even until now as well. And then we had a project which is called as Halal Local. I'll do a bit brief about that. Halal Local is a startup project of 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗶𝗽. At first, I was just in charge of the technical stuff, and then by the second year I worked in Halal Local, or I built Halal Local. The previous management passed down that leadership to me, the responsibility to be the CEO of Halal Local. I took 1 year as the CEO of Halal Local, and then I passed the responsibility to someone who I believe is much more, capable to lead Halal Local. And now I'm still working in 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗶𝗽. I'm still working in Halal Local, but mostly I work in another startup, which is very close relations with our company, which is called Saidah. I became the dev lead over there, and I have worked there for 6 months for now. So yeah, that's just a bit about me. Now some history about what 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗶𝗽 and Halal Local is about. Now I met with my fellow co-founder. He's my friend. We got the same scholarship to study in England, and then after that we were in contact, and we were both thinking, let's do a business together. And at that time we gathered enough investors within our own circles. We gathered 5 investors, and we created 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗶𝗽. At the time we made the company first, but we don't have a project yet. We create the company with enough funding. Then we asked the investor, what project should we start? And that's how we came. We start with 2 project or product. Both of them are apps, and both of them we think of it as they're going to be their own independent startup, and 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗶𝗽 will be like a holding company, like the umbrella. The first one is called Monica. Monica comes from the money consultant. It's supposed to be like an AI-based digital financial advisor, or in overseas, this kind of apps is quite popular. It's called robo-advisor, so they can give you advices about how should you maintain your finances, but through AI. And then the second project we did was Halal Local. It's an app to find halal restaurants, so we can find masjids and everything over there. It's already available in most of the countries in the world. We have more than 55,000 listings of halal restaurants, and also 100,000 of masjids. We have more than 10,000 or 11,000 users from across the world. Surprisingly, most of our customer base is actually in the Middle East, not in Indonesia. So that was a really fun experience for me as well. Then, how did it start? How did Halal Local came to be was when I was traveling with another friend. Because now that I live in England, I want to travel, I want to backpack. Then me and my friend, we set this schedule. For just 9 days, we should go from the northernmost point to the southernmost point. And that's, you can see on the left, there's this map. I went, my friend and I live somewhere here, like two hours from London. Then we take a bus to Birmingham, and then from Birmingham we take an airplane to go to the northernmost points that we can find, which is a city called Inverness. Maybe you have heard about Loch Ness before, that kind of magical lake that they say that there's a dinosaur over there or something. Maybe you have heard about it, Loch Ness. So we went to this Inverness, up, going down until this southernmost point, which is part of the county of Cornwall. The area is called as Britzones. Then my friend and I, we're both Muslim, alhamdulillah, when we're both very careful with what we eat. Then at first, when we go to Inverness, that's fine. We can live off by bread and milk. And then some places we can still find rice, well, like Middle Eastern food and all. But once we, after like around 3 days of traveling, my friend and I become so hungry. We were deprived of food. We were starving, literally. I lost, like my cheeks sunk in. I lost 3 kilos within just 3 days. That was so bad. And if you can imagine, that's how much luggage I have with me. So at the time, okay, let's find food. Then we looked up in the internet, just Googled it, halal restaurants, York. We were in a city called York. York is a cathedral city. It's a city surrounded by the walls of the churches. Then we were looking for halal restaurants in the area. We came there when it was around 6 a.m. So you know it was pretty early. There were 3 restaurants. One, and then we go to each places. One, they only open at 6 p.m. So of course we can't wait till that time. Yeah. Second, we go there and the store is already closed down. It's no longer there. The map was wrong. And the third is we don't even know where it is. Then we were almost wanted to cry. Then, okay, fine. We survive again with another bread and milk. And then we decided to go to a supermarket, a Chinese supermarket in New York. Probably we can get some noodles or cup noodles and then get some warm water and all. Turns out, just right in the corner, when we wanted to go to the supermarket, we found this restaurant. It is a Turkish restaurant. It has no halal label, but it's a Turkish restaurant, so we suppose it should have some chances of being halal. Then we knock at the door. It was 11 a.m. We knock at the door. They're still preparing for the table. Is this halal? It's like, yeah, it's halal. And then, oh, can we go in? Can we have a meal here? Yeah, but you should wait for an hour. Okay, then we wait for an hour. Then after that was the first time in 3 days we had a proper meal, rice and everything nice. Yeah, that was a bit stressful. I mean, it's just eating. It's just food. It should be something so simple, but for us that has dietary requirements, this is really important, but it was so hard in certain places. And then we did look up, is this common? And yeah, turns out it is. Lots of Muslims have funding difficulties, especially in Muslim minority countries, to find halal food. And then I brought back this idea as well to my colleague, the fellow co-founder, and that validates this problem, especially when we looked up based on research. In Indonesia, there is this trend which is called halal tourism or halal travel, where probably like Muslim majority countries or countries that has predicted that there is a huge market in Muslim travelers going to their country. They wanted to support or encourage these Muslim travelers to actually go to their country. And that's why Halal Local came to be. We want to help these Muslim travelers. They can go traveling at peace, especially starting from their food. Second is from finding where to pray. Then our first launching pad of Halal Local is when I was still in the UK. My fellow co-founder has already gone back home for good. We participated in this kind of business plan competitions. For any of you, maybe you have involved in startup. This is like your daily food, maybe. We just tried applying our proposal to business plan competitions. It's not exactly we wanted to get this, competing or what. It's actually more in the sense of we want to validate whether we know what it takes to run a business. Then, shukr alhamdulillah, we became the top 10 finalists, and the organizer sent us to China for 9 days. And that's the picture of me on the right. We went places. We went to meet potential investors. We went to meet the public servants and the and also lots of media. And even I went to this Alibaba headquarter office. And that was such an honorable thing to experience, especially when we're actually still in baby steps. Literally, I don't have any business experience beforehand. I just know I want to study. I want to pass with a good mark and probably get a good job somewhere. But that was not in my plan actually to run a business in the beginning. But now that my feet is so deep in the water of running a business, I should go through it. I should commit to it. That's a bit of Halal Local. And Halal Local has gone quite a bit of places. I hope you would like to install Halal Local and give a try our app. We have brought the idea as well to Japan and also to Australia. And through this experience, I met a lot of people. I learned a lot. I think my English improved as well, my public speaking as well. It's really just in a matter of, just do it, and you can learn along the way. Now, that's just a bit about me. Sorry if it takes too long. Now, back to the topic. Today's sessions, thank you so much, Britzone, to invite me. The topic that you offered me was how to how to communicate with your team when there are differences. I think it was something along that line. And just 2 days ago, something happened in our team. That's normal. We got complaints internally. So the story was, I'll just a bit of story. The story was because of this COVID, there were a group of interns came to work in our company, but because the situation was just not right, now that everyone needs to work from home, and the students, they have no prior experience working. I mean, they haven't worked in any formal settings before. And also, it's just so hard for me as the technical lead to actually monitor or check them how did they do, except from through chatting or maybe do a bit of video call. But even then, that's not enough actually to to connect with people or team that has no prior experience working in formal settings. Then their internship period is over. To be honest, I feel a bit disappointed, to be honest, because first of all, their communications, they don't really report to me, even though I keep asking for it, they don't really report to me. And what I have expected for them, they don't really go through it. And that time, I was in the verge of actually getting angry, but I take a step back. No, that's not good to just lash out to this young people, just get angry without actually knowing what do they feel and why did they do that. I believe, like everyone wants to do a good job, isn't it? There's no one who's like, I just want to do a bad job. I hope so. I hope no one actually do that. Then what I did was set a call with them, with all of them, and eventually have a one-on-one call with them. And I want to know what do they feel. So that's my topic I wanted to bring to fellow Britzoners today: accepting complaints, taking it in, even though they're so wrong. That's normal. And this is what I did. I'm not sure if this is the correct way to do it. Perhaps the other leaders here could give some feedbacks for me, please. But this is what I did. First, I asked them, hi, everyone. So how did it go in your internships? Can you tell me what did you learn? And I asked them one by one, what did they learn? So some people, oh, thank you so much, you already teach us how to do this, how to learn this, and all like that. Okay, I'm happy that they say the gratitude. However, I feel like probably that's a bit of sweet talking. Because that's not what I wanted to hear. I don't want to hear their sweet talk. I don't want to hear their compliments. Actually, I want to hear what do they really feel that makes this happen. And then, but of course, I stop again. I take a step back again, and then I ask them, what do you think should we improve? Because of course, if I ask them like, you're wrong, and then tell us what do we do wrong that makes you do wrong, they'll feel so offensive, right? So instead I probe it in a way that makes them feel comfortable to open up to me. Then I ask them, so what should we improve so that you can learn? I mean, after all, this internship is for you, not for us. This is part of your learning experience. So if you can tell us what to improve so that within this remaining time we have, we can give out the most for you. And then they started to open up to me saying that, oh, if only you can do this, if only you can do that. Although some of them I do agree, some of them I don't agree, but I still just accept and I keep giving them response, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then the third is I apologize to them because truthfully, yes, I did wrong. I didn't really monitor them well. Maybe I haven't really exactly created a proper protocol for them to work remotely. So first of all, I say to them, I'm sorry. I'm not just saying in terms of a company, but I say it personally. First of all, I'm sorry, this is my fault. I should have done it better to make your learning experience better. However, then I clarify, I give them context. Actually, for example, one of the things they complained about was that, why did I not give them a proper task distribution? I think their mindset is still a bit need to be fixed because it seems to me they think work is like a homework. It's not exactly the same. There is no one to actually feed you when you work. It's not like a teacher-student relationship, the conventional teacher and student relationship where everything is given to you. No, in work environment, sometimes you need to learn by yourself. You're just given expectations. You're just given a set of goals, but you figure it out yourself. How should you do that? Because actually you were paid to do that. And this interns probably didn't really know better that's what expected of them. So I give them a context. Actually, we tried our best from behind to tell you that this is how working environment is and all. I give them a context, and especially for this technical problems that they face, also I give them context. We tried to help, but turns out just how do I explain this for a non-technical people? So let's just say we give them a project to actually integrate to a third party, but this third party is not, somehow we cannot integrate to them because of bureaucracy. We cannot really apply for registrations to integrate to this third party, but they complain because they said they don't have work. No, it's not like they don't have work, but because we cannot even integrate to that. So what kind of, we are at loss as well. How should we move forward from there? So I give them context that actually there are some things that they don't know about, but now that if only they know better, maybe they already think differently, or maybe they could do something else. And then I move on from there. I respond, I appreciate what they have done wrong, that they have done right. Because for example, thank you so much. You have taken your time to learn this by yourself, set it up in your computer, and let's say they have some initiatives that are really good. I appreciate that. I congratulated them and also celebrate that achievements as well. And then after that, only then I actually correct what they do wrong. Like what I said to you before, that their mindset is still needed to be corrected. I say to them, this is not your first time, and this will not be your last time to work with people that actually don't fit you. So that's kind of like my wejangan or my advice to them. I see myself probably as like the talking like from an older sister perspective to them, or yeah, I try to distance myself from actually like I'm your boss and something like that. Only then after that now they have a better picture actually what's happened. They know the context, they know what they did wrong, and of course they know what they did right. And at the same time, I also feel the same. I know what should we improve. For example, if there were another batch of interns come to us, then maybe we can do much more better than now. especially now this is the first time for everyone to work remotely as massive as this, isn't it? So it's just part of the learning experience, I guess, even for us as a company. Then we closed off that meeting with let's discuss together what's next, because in the end, the learning that internship period is actually for their learning experience, and turns out within just 7 days, they can finish the project that I've expected them to do. So yeah, that's just a bit about accepting complaints and how should we handle from there, and do a better work, I guess. Yeah, so
Yes,
that's all from me. So hit me up here. You know my contacts, just find me there and let's chat.
Wow, thank you so much, Nurma. Well, it's never easy to get it's always going to be easy to get a compliment, but it's going to be the way around when you get a complaint, right? It's always going to be like that. But I feel like I do agree with you. I mean, we need a bigger heart, right, to accept it, and then also just like what you said, you have to evaluate and everything. Thank you so much, Nurma, then for your time, and thank you so much for
sorry, I
the
took too much time. I didn't look at the clock. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Well, we learn a lot. We learn a lot. So it's okay, Norma.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, thank you so much for thank you so much for 𝗙𝗃𝗿. Thank you so much for Aryo, Norma, and also Ammar. Thank you for sharing for your knowledge. And then now it's going to be the most fun part of our session. It's going to be our Q&A session. So now everybody, you can unmute yourself, please. Just unmute yourself.
Yay!
Okay, hey, yay, finally. Because Nurma has been eager to hear your voice.
Yes.
Diaktifkan pelan-pelan.
Ya.
Maaf tadi hilang sebentar saya.
Hello, what is it? Who's that?
Hi Kak hello.
Hi. I heard a voice, or it's just me and my imagination. So yeah, I mean, now if you have questions, now we're going to have like 2 sessions. The first session is going to be for 20 minutes. So we're going to open for 3 questions. And bear in mind that if you ask questions later on, we're going to give 4 vouchers of GoPay or OVO if you ask the best question. Later on, the other committee is going to pick the winner. So if you want to have, if you have questions, all you have to do is click on the raise your hand button and then shoot and give your questions to any one of the speakers. Questions? Oh, okay. Now we have Putri Amelina. Yes.
Okay.
Do you have any questions, Darling?
Yeah, I have a question for our inspiring speakers. Okay, hi everyone.
Hi.
Okay, I'm Putri and I'm a vocational high school teacher. I teach pharmacy subject to my adorable students, and I really admire all of our speakers here. Shout out to 𝗙𝗃𝗿𝗄, Aryo, Ammar, and Norma. Norma. Thank you so much for being here. And it's not a sugar-coated words, but it comes from my heart. Well, we spoke about vocational high school in this class. Now, I want to ask all of you, our speakers, to give advices to this vocational high school teacher. What can I do to make my students, you know, have a characteristic like you guys here? Because as we know that vocational high school students has to work once they have graduated from the school. So what can I do to make them become the better generation of Indonesia? That's all from me. Thank you.
Wow, that's a very good question. Thank you for Putri then. I think we're just going to make it one question and then one answer, and then we're going to go to the next question. So from Nurma and then 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗿 and Aryo and Ammar, do you have any answer for Putri?
I guess Ammar is the best person to answer on that.
Yeah, I guess so.
I
agree with
I'm
you,
waiting
Nurma.
for Nurma's answer.
Oh my God, you put me on the spot.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, because you're the one who came from the vocational school. I mean, yeah, just like what Putri said. I mean, from your perspective, what is going to be better for Putri to give to the students to be better and then to be work ready or something like that?
Yeah.
What do you wish you had when you were still at school?
Yes, that's true.
Actually, I don't have an experience in teaching, so I don't know whether my suggestion is
No,
right or not.
just consider yourself as a student. What do you want from me?
What do I want from you?
Putri. Ooh, Putri.
To a teacher, of course.
Money, money.
If I put myself as a student, a vocational student, I want a discussion with my teacher, a deep discussion about future, about dream or something like that. And I want a teacher with has an open-minded thought. So there is no traditional student teachers relationship like that. So the teacher given knowledge and then the student receiving the knowledge. There is no like that. I don't want like that. I just want to have a deep discussion, and we discuss something you are wrong. So you say that you say I'm sorry, I'm wrong, and then we can fix it together, something like that. So yeah, and then we have to be more focused on a product, what we will make on the subject. Don't just give a lesson like a theoretical lesson. We want to be tactical lesson like that, something like that.
Something practical, right,
Yeah,
Ammar?
something
That you can practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I
Like,
agree on that.
for example, in my vocational school, I was learn about IT. So at the first time when I was in vocational school, I learned about programming things, something like that, and then I don't know what can I do in this subject. So I want the teacher give me a real project or a real tactical problem, so I can fix it with this capability, with this subject. Hopefully it answers your question.
So
Thank you so much, Ammar.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, like, but we are so lucky nowadays. Like, we have teachers like Putri in vocational schools, right? So now we can have a better future later on for the kids, for the children. So thank you also, Putri.
Hope so. Thank you so much.
Okay.
What about Nurma?
Oh, Nurma, she really
okay?
wants to hear your
One more answer, please.
answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to, very memorable experience working with vocational school graduates. First one is one of my prize developer. He's graduated from SMK, I think 2 years ago. He's the youngest developer we have. He's not even 20 yet. What I like from him is that he eager to learn, and he is not afraid to try out new things. And I mean, actually, someone with his caliber, he could have worked in a big company. He doesn't need to work with us, but he saw something in us, and that's I think one of the things that I'm very proud of him. And I even groomed him, if possible, he should take over my role one day, hopefully, like that. I mean, I think what I can say is that if you could help these young students to know what is the opportunities out there, what kind of job opportunities out there, what kind of people do they look for, and probably if you could also help them to see opportunities in everything, not just like looking, oh, that one has a big salary, more than that, there are a lot of opportunities even in smaller places. I think that's one thing SMK students, because they are prepared for a job, should be drilled for them since they were young. Because there were another occasions where we accepted several SMK graduates, but they think of it like having another homework, and that's just not the same. Like, oh, one of their friends not coming, so the rest of them is not coming. That's not work, right?
Yeah.
So maybe the professionalism as well is also something to be thought.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really blame them or what. I mean, they're still so young. So that's actually the task of us elder people, like more mature people, to guide them how should they survive in working environment. I think that's a bit I can say for SMK students.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Kak Nurma.
No worries. I take your
Thank
time again,
you.
Kak.
Another question? Another question? Thank you for Nurma and Ammar. Another question? Just raise your hand, please, if you have any questions.
Yes, we have raised my hand.
Oh, you just raise your hand. I don't see you. Oh my God. Hi, Asto.
Hi, we have like five hands,
Yeah,
right?
Kak,
Four?
sorry. Yeah.
My God, I don't
I
see your
guess
hand.
the
Which
next
one?
question is
Oh,
come
wait.
from
Wait.
Yep,
Whose
KM.
voice is this?
Yes, Devi KM. Hello.
Oh, Desi. Who's raising? Oh my God,
I
the
think
hand.
yes, I think the next one is from Phi because he is the second from right hand.
Okay.
Okay, can you, Desi, can you please help me to pick the participants to give the questions, please?
Yeah, sure. Okay,
Yeah, thank you,
Phi.
Desi.
Hello, Phi.
Hi, Phi.
Hello, can you hear my voice?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
clearly.
Okay. So thank you for the opportunity. I would like to ask actually for whoever the speakers, and thank you so much for sharing your thought about leaderships, and that was so inspirational. And my question will be, after all, we are all human being, right? And I believe that even though you guys have a great background, I believe you guys have like turning point, which is like inferior or insecurities in your life, right? I would like to ask about how you overcome that point in your life. That's all. As a leader, of course, because I really curious about that, and maybe we can apply it in our daily activities. Thank you.
Wow, it's a very good question, Phi. I mean, I think all good leaders has to have that quality, right? So yeah, I mean, like for Vivi, Nurma, Aryo, and Ammar, or now it's like for Vivi and Aryo, maybe. In your opinion, how to overcome that? Just like what Phi said.
Maybe Aryo first.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
I was about to say ladies first, but okay.
Okay.
The chivalry is there, and then yes, Aryo.
Yeah, I was thinking because this question relate to everyone in a different level. As far as I understand, and sometimes I do sincerely believe that there will be there is no like single turning point in everyone's life. Like our life is always an ups and down, and I think the ability to identify that, okay, this is the lowest point in my life, is the first thing that everyone has to own. Because I used to believe that there is this situation that we call false bottom. False bottom is a situation where you think like you are in the lowest moment in your life, but then you're wrong, because it can drop deeper than that. And people don't realize that, because they already feels like, okay, my life is bouncing back now, okay, I'm the wheels are turning now, I'm going upward again, but then they fall even deeper again. So first thing that I usually do, and this is this might not applicable to everyone, but if it is, then good. First of all is the idea of acceptance. That's I think it's the most important thing, the way that you accept that it will happen eventually, and it might happen twice 3 times, 4 times, or even frequently in your life. Some people love to look into their track record and they think that, okay, I'm not going to fail. Okay, I'm not going to be worse than this. It's a good as an optimism, but it's not good because it will give you a sense of invisibility that it's not good. Okay, so first, I think the important is to have an acceptance that it will happen eventually. I need to be ready for that. Second, you can avoid it by constantly asking feedback, by constantly asking your peers and people in your circle for your feedback, so you know when the trajectory is going down, because sometimes people might be better in looking to us and looking our life rather than looking ourselves through the mirror. And third, if it happened, if you think that it was there, that you hit your lowest point in your life, people always have a place for them to escape. My place to escape is always a game. I'm a gamer. Sometimes 2-3 rounds of Mobile Legend wouldn't hurt. Unless it's a low streak. If it's a win streak, and suddenly you can get back to your work. But people have places where they want to escape. Someone that they're really close to, your parents. And I think it's okay to feel vulnerable at that time, because the way that you can return to those persons or those situations is also important for you to bounce back. So just take yourself out from the situations. You don't need to deal with that now, because if one thing that is untrue is that you don't have to deal in the situation that you don't want to. So you can retreat first and then get back to your feet and then listen to the people close to you, and then you can deal with it better. Because I think the most important thing when you face a lowest point in your life is the first, second, and the third action that you do after it happened. Because if you cannot bounce back after that, usually that's what I call false bottom. You go fall even deeper. Probably you said wrong things about someone. Probably you forgot to do something that's important. So it's okay to take a pause. It's okay to take a pause, and it's your life. 𝗙𝗃,
Yeah, I do agree.
please complete me.
Okay, Aryo, thank you. Okay, I'll try to answer. For me, insecurity and be in the bottom of life, everyone can feel it. But for me, the lowest time in my life, when I in junior high school, I don't like cheating. But because of it, my friends bully me. So I think, what happened? I just tried to be honest person. What wrong with me? But in this moment, I think, okay, you are in the right side. So we learn that in life, if you are in the right side, please stay. Don't make yourself to be not yourself. So from it, I can say there are 3 points. First, always appreciate what you do. The second is remind yourself regularly that you are better than you think you are. And the third is please dream big. I think that's enough.
Yeah, I do agree though. I mean, like everybody had their rock bottom moment, right? But just like what you all said, I mean, there's no way to there's no other way than bounce back, right? I mean, you can just pause a bit, just like what Aryo said, but eventually you still have to bounce back. You still have to get up, brush up, and then just walk. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Okay, thank you so much for Aryo and 𝗙𝗃. And then now the third question. We have the third question here from the chat. We have from 𝗙𝗂𝗹𝗁. She asks, what is the most difficult thing when leading your team? So guys, it's a very good question here. The most difficult thing when leading your team. For all, I think, like for 𝗙𝗃, Aryo, Ammar, and Nurma.
Maybe 𝗙𝗃 can go first. It's my turn.
Again?
Okay, Aryo. Okay. Okay, the question is, what is the most difficult thing to manage our team. I think everyone have different point of view and different opinion. So as a leader, we have to manage all opinion, all ideas, all egoism, and of course, anyone wants to make something new. But as a leader, we have to make a decision what is the best for our team, for our company, for our organization. So for me, is need a mutual understanding for all the members in a team.
Yeah, I do agree on that one though. But have you ever had any like serious conversation with your team? I mean, like a quarrel even with your team?
Since I think for now it's I can no one.
So it means that you're a very good leader then. You see. I mean.
Thank you, Am.
Okay, thank you for Aryo, maybe, or the others.
Yeah,
Aryo,
I'll just be short. I also put it in chat. My answer is always two. The challenging moment number one is when we decide who's going to be our team, because it's more of like choosing your life partner. Like you will work with them. You will know their worst. You will know their best. You will trust your company secret with them. So it's the most important thing, because it kind of be like a decision that will haunt you forever. You will still remember the mistake that you do when you choose someone to be your team. That's one. So but at the first, you don't have much time to it. You only have 2 interviews, and then you need to decide which one is going to be in your team. It's hard already, but it's very difficult. The second is when the first conflict happens. So you have this optimism that I picked the right one, I picked the right team, I picked the right member. But then suddenly the conflict happens, and then you suddenly know a lot about them, something that you never knew before. So first conflict will always be the time where you will understand, okay, I think it's going to be like a smooth sailing, or it's going to be a very rough, bumpy ride with the team. I like to call it like I don't know if you guys watch How I Met Your Mother back then, but it's kind of like what Robin said, the exit from the highway. I mean, the first conflict will always be the opportunity where you can decide, okay, I want to continue working with you, or no, I don't think this is a good place for us to work together. So yeah, that's my answer. The first moment and the second.
Yeah, agree. Is it okay? No, Aryo, I want to ask you one question before Nurma. But is it okay for you as a leader to, if you said that, okay, after the first conflict and then after the first conflict, is it okay for you to dismiss a member?
It's okay when it's the last thing that you can do. I mean, I always advocate that you talk it out. I can always advocate that you do compromise. But if you think that it's something that you missed during the interview, it's something that you cannot work together, and it's just going to ruin the life of the team and also the objective of the organizations, then I think it's the best way. I'm sure that every leader can do the talk, and sometimes even the team member will understand that this is the best way to proceed. So try everything that you could do to fix it. But then if it's still not working, then it's no harm. You're saving the life of that one person, I believe, because you're giving him or her another opportunity out there.
All right. Thank you so much, Aryo. And then others, maybe Ammar and Ammar and Nurma.
Okay. My answer is, firstly, when we got a difficult situation to manage our team, firstly, I highly recommend it that the leader don't ever assume about something, like Aryo said in his presentation. Yeah, don't assume about something. So, firstly, we have to talk to them, talk to our team. What happens? What's the problem? And then we have to explore what their objectives of work, because sometimes team members have a different objectives of work, of doing organization, doing organization. Where we have, for me in a Solu, we have a philanthropic values, we have a philanthropic vision, and then on the team, they have different perspective of work. So probably we have a gap here. So we have to find out which is the gap. And after we find out the gaps, we have to differentiate between professional and friendship relationship, relation. And then so after we know the problem, we give them a barrier. This is the professional and this is the friendship relation. So if you don't have any same objective with us, so you're free to go, but we are still friends. Yeah, we are still friends, and we can be, yeah, maybe we can do it. We can collaborate it with your new company later on in the future, something like that. So we have to differentiate between professional and friendship relation. So that's my answer.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, like, I do agree. I mean, like, sometimes not sometimes, but most of the times, especially if you work with your friends, you have to be able to differentiate your feelings, right? You will have the time to talk. You will have the time to talk as their leader, as their boss, and the other time you can talk with them as their friends, right?
Yes.
I do agree with them, Ammar.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Others, or you want to who wants to answer again?
You don't give space
Nurma,
for
right?
me?
Nurma?
You don't give space for me? Okay.
Nurma, come on, Nurma.
That's a good question. I think in my working life experience, there were two occasions. That's when my kind of my leadership position was being tested. There were two occasions when that happens. First is when we were in loss. We were basically in debt, and it's a sinking situations, whether we should lay off the team or we should cut down their salary. I think that's actually one of the moments where my leadership was, well, probably my responsibility as the leadership position was being tested. And second is when I eventually needed to, what do you call that? Pecat? Apa pecat itu bahasa Inggrisnya?
What is it?
Pecat.
Fire.
Fire.
Dismiss.
Yeah. Yeah. Second is when I needed to fire people. I think that really hurts, to actually do that to someone that you have worked with for so long. Just now back to the questions, what was the most difficult thing? That it's how to communicate when we were in a very difficult situations, and how should we what do you call it? Tell them why the decision comes to that. Why should we cut their salary, or why we should lay off them, or why we should fire them? I think that's one of the moment where now I know that people's life now depends on my depends on my action as well, and that's just so heavy. Actually, when I was about to drop the words to them, I feel like crying. Yeah, I don't know what to talk about actually, but it's just something that probably if you would like to take that position in leadership, probably you needed to convince or convey that very difficult decisions, and probably don't really know what's the best route to do that. But like what Ammar said, Aryo said, and also 𝗙𝗃𝗍 said, it's just about the matter of communicating, I guess, and hopefully they can differentiate between a professional and personal relationship, because in the end, well, thankfully, even though those people that we have laid off, we still keep them as relatives. We call them alumni even. So alumni of our society, I guess, and we still keep in contact with them, even though we were in that sinking relationship beforehand. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that answer it or not.
Yeah, I think it's a very good answer, though. I mean, like that's exactly what we feel, because when it comes to giving out the bad news, nobody likes to do that, right? Nobody likes to do that. And then, but as a leader, of course, there is one of the main job, right, to give the bad news to the others, because sometimes it happens. But yeah, since all of you are good leaders, so I think you can handle it very well. And then thank you for sharing the tips. Okay, now move on to next question from Asto. I know that you've been craving to give question.
You think?
You think? Oh, being sassy and snappy. Yes.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Sorry I was late. I was helping my friends, but I managed to catch Aryo when speaking, and this inspires me to ask a question about younger leader. Maybe I should give you a context or background story. Usually in corporation we have like CEO, manager, and staff, right? So usually the CEO is a lot more experienced and then a lot older, but we have like this case. This new CEO in the past experience is someone slower, someone who do run errand from this current manager. So he would copy things, he would write things like an assistant. But the table has turned. This guy, a lot younger guy, is now become our CEO. So that's a problem. But let me give this. He made some good decision, but couple of his decision is, in my opinion, is very bad. So this manager is telling everyone to not to do this what do you call it, order or this task. So I want to ask Aryo specifically, as a staff, what do you do in this situation? And as a leader or as a CEO, if you know about this, what also do you want to do about this? Okay, that's my question.
Thank you, Asto.
Yeah.
The question is directly for you, Aryo.
Yes, and maybe others can fill in as well, because I think this is quite
complicated, right?
Yeah, quite complicated. First of all, he used to do an errand and now he's a CEO.
Yeah.
It's quite a leap of position.
Yeah.
That's a story worthy of a movie. But yeah, but the way I see it is like this. I mean, one, there must be a decision process why people believe that he can be a leader, right? And of course, even though you give me a context, I don't think I can make a judgment on how, whether the decision process is good or not when he or she becomes the CEO. That's one. I just want to preempt so that I don't be seen as a judgmental in giving my opinion. That's one. But second of all, I think this is an issue where it doesn't matter who the CEO is. I think the one that really matters is not whether the CEO used to be run an errand or not. But I think more importantly is what kind of communication channel exists in the company or in the organizations. Is it an open communication where people can criticize everyone as much as possible? Or is it a closed loop situation where people can criticize, but it needs to go into hierarchy, go to the manager, and the manager go to the others, and upward? Or is a situation where giving critics is shunned, is not being looked as a good way in the company? Usually, it's an older generation company that usually do this. So that's that's probably something that we also need to take into mind when we want to understand these situations. But I think I think if the decision is bad, then it's a good thing that someone wants to reprimand or remind the leader that that you're wrong. That's one. But second, the way that the manager somehow kind of drag everyone not to follow the order of the CEO is wrong. Because I think when you think that there is a bad decision happen from the leadership of the company, you don't ask them not to follow him, but rather to remind him, because anyway he's still the leader. He can fire you if he wants to, right?
Yeah.
So and his decision will eventually affect you. If he ruins the company, then it also ruins the company where you live. So I think it's not good for the manager to do that. So what should we do? My general comments on this is 3 things. First, I think it's important for you to see the official channel of communication in the company. What you usually do. If it's like a small company, probably you can talk directly to the boss, or if you still need to go upward, you need to go to your supervisor first and then say it to him. But second, in regards to the manager, I think it's important for you not to follow what the manager say. If I don't think you need to complain about the manager or to the manager, but I think you need to make him or her somehow understand that this is not a good way for you to do this. But lastly, and it's more importantly, is that in any way, in any situation in that company, it is very important for you not to look at someone's past when you want to evaluate their mistakes. Even people coming from a very prominent background of CEO, like all of his grandpa, grandma, all the granddaddies are CEO. It doesn't guarantee that you would not make a mistake as a leader. Even if you somehow used to run an errands or an office boy or anything, you can be a better leader. For example, I know one company that I used to train that they basically hires manager coming from people running errands, because they think that they know better the field, they know better the playing field, the battlefield. So that's what I'm going to say. First, don't see their mistakes, don't see their past as a way of you to justify their mistakes. But second, if he does a mistake, then you need to remind him, that you need to criticize him, but see the official channel of communication in the company. I'm sure that there is an official channel where you can say your complaints when you don't think that you agree with the company directions, and I think you should follow that. But if all else fails, probably you can go directly to him and ask and say to him nicely, but still in a professional manner. And don't forget to give context, because you're the staff, because you care about this company, you don't want this company to fail. It's not personal to you, but it's more a professional manner. Don't forget to do that. That's
Okay.
I can say. Asto.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the question.
Yeah. Thank you.
How's the answer, Asto?
Yeah. The answer is okay. Good. But if we want to get deep with that, I think we don't have much time.
Yeah, you can contact me there.
After this,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we all have the number of our established speakers, and you can just contact them directly.
Yeah,
You can find them in LinkedIn. It's very easy, and then also in Instagram, right?
Right.
Okay,
Right.
thank you for the question, Asto, and then thank you for the great answer, Aryo. And then now, unfortunately, because our time is running up, now we are only going to open for one more question, and it's going to be from Meta. Meta, where are you? Meta,
Hello,
where
thank
are
you
you?
for the sharing and for your opportunity.
Hi, Meta.
Hi, can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can hear your voice.
Okay. I want to start my idea to give the suggestion of employee law. For the long project, I want to have a startup with give consultation and make an employee contract. I want to ask how to improve my followers quickly in my Instagram and how to manage this project in social media. Thank you.
Anybody wants to answer?
Maybe 𝗙𝗃𝗵𝗶 is the best speaker
think
to answer
so,
this.
yeah.
Wants to answer it?
Yeah. I'm on spot, right? Okay. The connection is not good, but tell me if I'm wrong. The question is, what is the strategy to promotion our social media, right? Or there is specific question, M?
Yeah, I think Meta, can you please repeat the question again, please?
Okay, I want to ask how to improve my followers quickly in my Instagram and how to manage this project in social media. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Meta.
Thank you, Meta. It's such an interesting question for me. Based on my experience, Instagram have a characteristic, it just for entertainment. So if you want to reach your followers, please make a content to entertain first. And the second, please check your insight in Instagram. You can know what is the most city that everyone follow you, what is the gender, what the time everyone look your Instagram, and many more. Please first try to make an entertain content. The second is please check your insight in Instagram so you can know what is the best content that your followers like. And the third, Instagram has a simple characteristic that please in the pandemic we have to I think it's new event like live IG, right? Live IG, IGTV, and many more. I can suggest you to Meta and your team make a webinar or make an event or make live IG together with an influence person like celebrities or influencer or someone who can make your followers be happy and want to reach someone to follow your Instagram. I think it's my advice, Em.
That's a very good advice, though. Meta, did you hear that? The answer from Cici.
Yeah, thank you.
Pardon my little son over here. I mean, like, yeah, he likes to bird.
Hello, cat.
Yes, he likes to be on spot, just like the mother. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much for the questions. Those are very great questions, and then for the answers also from all the speakers. And I believe that everyone can learn a lot from today's sessions because, man, even I as a moderator, I learn a lot. I mean, I believe that all of us we learn about new things, and also, yeah, I mean, I bet we all. I mean, just like 𝗏𝗍, I want to ask you a question. 𝗏𝗍,
yeah.
What do you think about the class today?
The class was so awesome, and I'm so happy because I got a lot of answer for a lot of my questions and a lot of my problems in my life. And yes, I think I got a lot of benefits. And thank you so much for all of speakers. You are really, really awesome, all of you guys. Thank you so much. That's all.
Yeah.
Introduce your cat to my cat.
Wow.
Oh my God!
Ammar, show your cat as well, Ammar.
Fighting here.
He suddenly jumped into my
What should I do?
lap
I don't have cat.
because he heard the voice of the cat and then he jumped into my lap.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Now he wants to go.
That's a boy?
That's a boy, yeah.
It's a boy. Oh.
8 months old.
8 months old and that big. Yes, I know. Okay, good. We should make another webinar about cats. Mama cats and daddy.
Ammar is also showing her his cat.
A cat fighting here.
Okay.
Wow.
Cat
Okay.
Laura.
I will note it for the next class, yeah.
Yeah, next class is all about cats. Mama cats and daddy cats, right? Okay, good. So yeah, son, excuse me. I'm the moderator, not you. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone, for today. I mean, like the session, it was great. It was awesome. Thank you for your time. Usually it's not easy to stay on a Zoom meeting for more than 2 hours, but with you guys, time flies. I mean, like it feels that we're only here for 15 minutes. So maybe we're going to add more time next time for another 3 hours, maybe.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for your time, especially for Cici and Aryo and Ammar, and also for Nurma for your time and also for your knowledge. Thank you so much, and all for the participants. Thank you for joining our special leader class. Now, the time is up. So unfortunately, so hopefully we're going to see you again in the next session. So just like what I said before, our habit usually after the class we're taking pictures again.
Yes.
So Farhan, because this time I want you to count, okay, Farhan, und dos tres. So now we all know that you're taking pictures, okay, Farhan?
Yeah. Farhan, hello. Could you please open your video?
Farhan taking pictures.
Yeah, Miss M.
Open your video.
Wow.
Yes, baby. Take pictures of us.
Okay,
and
let's
count. Un, dos, tres, okay?
let's
Farhan.
open your camera.
Yeah, already.
Hi, Farhan.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, and once again, please.
More.
One more. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Yay.
Thank you so much, everyone. Hopefully we can see
you so
all
much.
of you another time, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hopefully it's offline later on the class.
Oh
right?
yes.
Yeah,
We hope
offline.
Stay safe.
I hope
Yes,
so.
of course.
We need
Stay
offline
safe,
class.
everyone.
Amin, amin.
Thank
Offline
you.
class, amin.
Take care, everyone. Thank you for
Bye.
attending
Thank
as well
you.
today.
And stay
Stay
safe.
safe.
Okay,
Stay
bye-bye.
healthy.
Stay safe, everyone.
Bye-bye. Stay
Bye.
safe. The class was so great.
please turn off the live streaming, please.
What is it?
Turn off the live streaming before you
Turn off
forget
the
about
light.
it.
Yeah.
Farhan, could
Turn
you
off.
please, Farhan?
Farhan mau dimatiin.
Farhan is doing a lot,
Hello.
yeah.
Sorry. There is trouble.
Farhan, could you please turn off the live streaming for YouTube? Because the class is over.
matikan dia.
Okay. Oh,
Excuse me,
I
guys.
didn't know what